ordered one of the pieces myself. You can now see a really ugly picture of me modelling it as best I possibly can.
Right, good evening everyone, it's me, Fran, and welcome to the show. I hope you're feeling a little bit better than I'm feeling, but I'm pretty sure most Arsenal fans will just be miserable tonight. But if you are, thank you so much for joining me. It's a couple of hours on from that dismal defeat to Liverpool in the third round of the FA Cup. We get dropped straight into the FA Cup, we're straight out of it again, and as AJ says in the chat, that's one trophy from a possible 16, which is dreadful. You know, I really went into that tie feeling positive. I don't know why. I don't know why I allowed myself some false hope, but I thought it would kind of be like a blank slate, not the Prem. Our strikers would get their striking boots on and we'd put all of the worries to bed for a while. But things seem to be a lot worse than that, and I regret even hoping for a good result. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is Fran. I'm a football artist and I make art and merch like the stuff behind me. And I also like to talk a lot of rubbish about Arsenal Football Club. I'm enthusiastic at least, even if my takes are sometimes terrible. But please like, subscribe, say hello to everyone else in the chat, subscribe to everyone else in the chat, and we're going to talk about everything tonight. We've got player ratings, which is my favorite part. A couple of hours on, we're going to talk about the main things that I'm really, really, really annoyed about. And a lot of this for me goes to our transfer policy. So, and Edu and things like that. And I want to talk about how crucial January is now. This is make or break for the guys who are in charge of bringing players into and letting players leave Arsenal Football Club. It's make or break now. It really is. But apart from that, welcome. I also wanted to say, if any of you guys also view the Highbury squad, please go over to their channel or to their Twitter and just send lots of love to Sophie today. I know the football's really all over the place at the moment, but some things truly are much more important, and she's such a nice lady. So she just suffered a huge loss in her family. So go over and give her lots of love from our channel too, if you haven't already. It reminds us that football is not everything. Yeah, so do go over to the Highbury squad and show her a lot of love today. But yeah, we are going to talk about the football too. Let's say hello to a few of you in the chat. I'm so disappointed about this, guys. I may smile, but that's just, you know, my coping mechanism. I'm not happy in fact. So Dugout Football Channel is here. Hello, Doug. Saying that game showed today, if you don't take your chances, you get punished. Yeah. And every single one of those golden opportunities in the first half that went by, me and my boyfriend were looking at each other going, we need to score one of these because otherwise Liverpool are going to come back. And we've seen this story so many times this season. I don't know what the problem is with our strikers this season. It's almost as if it's like a fun game to them. Like, oh, let's see how many chances we can take without actually getting one in the back of the net. Let's see how long we can do this, guys. Haha, how funny. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by it at this point. BX is here saying he's got a pint of ice cream to eat the pain away tonight. And I will send you your giveaway hoodie prize at some point, BX. But Christmas has been hectic, and now I need to do some work in terms of gardening work to pay for the giveaway. So it will get to you eventually. Dugout, touching on something that we are definitely going to talk about, which is that Arsenal need to get a striker. Havertz is not a striker, and also Nketiah isn't the answer if Jesus is out long term. Even if Jesus is out long term, Jesus has been woeful this season, Doug. Like, Jesus is nowhere near good enough for what we need at the moment either. So regardless, this match has pulled into sharp hyper focus. If you couldn't see already, or for those still in denial, that this transfer window is absolute make or break. Do the Kroenkes, do Edu actually want to win things with this club, or are we just second best, a money-making option for them to fund their clubs in America? I don't know, because although it feels horrible right now, the league is still not out of reach, and neither is going very far in the Champions League. It's not out of reach if they put their pedal to the metal and actually sort things out and act like a serious club in January. But my gut is telling me that is not what they're going to do. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Ravi, what's up? Saying big up, Fran. Like, subscribe. Thank you. AJ saying sacking tonight. That's one trophy from a possible 16. I hear you there. I've seen enough. Arteta must go. And I understand why so many people are feeling like that. I personally think it's not all on Arteta tonight. A lot of this goes to the guys above him. I'm not making excuses for Arteta. This is a lot. Most of it. We're going to talk about where the blame lies, but I think that the guys above him can't get away with this tonight because this, I think, is a direct result of really poor transfer windows where there's been a mismanagement of funds and dumb, arrogant decisions like getting Havertz instead of players that we actually needed. Sorry, Havertz. It's not on him, but yeah. Big up E-Rolf, poor performance today, big up everyone. Yeah, and we're going to go into player ratings, don't worry. Oh, Salvatore says, I'm just done. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty like that as well. But I'm glad I get to come on here and talk to you guys about it, because otherwise I would just be like laying in bed, just thinking. And I just want to say, like, what's on my mind, what needs to be said. There's a lot that needs to be said, basically. But hello, everyone. All this delusional process trusting has led to Maidstone United going further than us in the FA Cup. I've had enough. Oh my God, that's really depressing. Fran, question, is ESR getting phased out of the club? I believe so. Yep. Colin, hello. Saying 48 chances created versus West Ham and Liverpool, 0 goals. No natural goal scorer on the pitch today. The bigger picture is we've never replaced Aubameyang's goals. Spot on. I couldn't have said it better himself. I mean, Arteta seems to be doing quite a good job at building a really strong defence, but as quite a few content creators have been saying recently, which attacking players have actually steadily improved in Arteta's tenure, or the ones that he's brought in? You could argue Saka, but his progress is starting to stall now. Odegaard got his confidence back, but arguably he's always kind of been that good. But Trossard's fallen off a cliff. Nketiah is at a standstill. Nelson, again, at a standstill, not really improving. Who else have we got up front? Havertz, I suppose you could say that he sort of has improved. But where's the striker, out-and-out striker? Gabriel Jesus has arguably just been injured and not really improved in his level. For me, I think the striking and like attacking positions are really not Arteta's strong point. And the thing is, with those positions, like I was saying yesterday, so much like flair and confidence and intuition goes into scoring goals. Whereas Arteta is such a kind of control-based manager. I think he kind of really struggles with like promoting that quality in players. I think all of these players that have looked really free-flowing and creative and exciting are all looking like they're going back into their shells and overthinking. And for me, it's kind of the fact they're all performing so badly at the moment is the only way to sort it out, like through a different manager. Do they just need a completely blank slate? Or can Arteta just really like let go and let them play? I don't know. I've got serious questions tonight. Why are some support deluded, aka AFTV? Yeah, I actually get really annoyed with this too. I know that I'm not like the most brutal fan, and sometimes you like people just want to hear someone like ranting and raving, but I feel like I'm quite balanced at least. But I listen to podcasts and I want to hear them say like what we're all feeling and what we're thinking and how horrible it is, how terrible it is, but I'm hearing them making excuses and bash other fans that are saying that they've had enough time with Arteta. And yeah, like put other fans down for saying that they're done with Arteta and stuff. And I feel like it's so that they look good for all the social media Arsenal people that are constantly monitoring. And it's like they're more likely to get invited to things or get press passes, things like that, if they're, and even me as a YouTuber, I can see that there's a clique of people that are constantly like defending Arteta and stuff, and you grow so much more quickly like that, because that's like the toxic positivity gang, and like Arsenal online people love that and stuff, and it's crazy. Basically, a lot of people don't say how they really feel because they don't want to alienate themselves from possibly like getting involved with the club at some point. And that's a line I struggle with, because I'd love to work with the club, right? Especially with my artwork and stuff. But I don't feel I can just come on here and like pretend to be positive about something that I'm really upset with. I think it's always better. Honesty is always the best policy, right? And I try and be like brutally honest, but not like go overboard and stuff. I just kind of talk about what we've seen, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, anyway, let's go back to the beginning. Basically, yeah. I could talk to you guys in the chat all day, but I need to actually do this presentation. So let me know your overall thoughts about this match. And I have a big presentation, okay? The best part is player ratings. So hold on to your seats and player ratings will come soon. First of all, we're just going to go over it and just get a lot off my chest. Oh, I've just seen someone new in the chat saying, hello, hope you're doing well, dear. New to the channel. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Magnificent Jafar. What a name, by the way. I wish we could have met on better circumstances, but you're here now. I hope you enjoy the channel. Please subscribe, and yeah, daily streams from now on. Let's do this. Anyway, right, match reviews and player ratings. Let's get into it. So let's start with the lineup. What did you guys think about the lineup? I think for me, the lineup showed just how weak our squad is. Basically, it was more rotated than I would have liked to have seen. However, that's because we do have a lot of injuries and things, and just if it's not our first 11, it just looks really weak. To be fair, it looks like, to me, I looked at it and I thought it's a bit too rotated, but then I thought, like, what else could he actually do? Which just highlights like how terrible our transfers have been and how thin our squad is. So I was happy to see RAMSDALE. Not much really to say about the starting 11. Happy to see Martinelli being benched because he's been so bad recently. However, Havertz up front, I don't know. I thought either way, okay, this squad I thought would be good enough to beat a Liverpool that had no Virgil van Dijk, had no Mo Salah, who's off at AFCON, had no Dominic Szoboszlai. You guys know I can't say that name. This squad should be good enough to start against a Liverpool team that was missing some of its key players, and beat them as well. Or else we have absolutely no chance in the title. And I think we've blown it. I think we've blown the title race. Really, not mathematically, but right now it feels like it. It's all about January now. It's all about January. If the KROENKES, if Edu, if Garlic, those guys want to save our season, SOS, save our season, make it happen in January. Get rid of whoever you need to get rid of. Get rid of Nketiah, please. ESR, obviously you don't rate him. We absolutely love him, but I'd rather, you know, have a chance of winning the league without ESR than keep ESR and come like third or fourth. Do you know what I mean? For me, winning the league is more important than this one player I really like. yeah, it's all about January now. It's crunch time. We're going to see if these owners really care about winning or not. So yeah. Posh Betty says, if you include the replays, all the Premier League teams are still in the cup except one. Good old Arsenal Football Club. I haven't really watched any other videos tonight, but do you think people will be saying, like, it's okay, it wasn't our priority anyway, like bigger fish to fry and all of that? Because if they are, it's getting beyond ridiculous at this point. I'm not having it. The reason, like, being a big club is about winning trophies. It's about silverware. It's about winning. And the players know that more than anyone. If they're not winning trophies, they're going. They're leaving. And we're going to be left with, like, all of our bright talent are going to go. It's really, really bad. So we're only basically left in the Prem or the Champions League. No cups. Again. I'm kind of having a hard time comprehending that this has happened again. But let's get into it. Let's talk about it all. Whose fault is it? Is it Arteta's fault? Is it the players' fault? Is it about the transfers? Get your tea, get your snacks, because I'm going to be here for a while. Okay? Guna Gargamel, hello, saying we should buy Victor Osimhen even if it costs 200 million. Yes, I completely agree. I completely agree. However, with the financial and sustainability thing, it's not FFP, it's not UEFA FFP, it's all the stuff that's catching out the teams like Everton and City and Chelsea, like the Premier League's rules. Like, we do need to sell, if reports are to be believed, sell in order not to be breaking the rules before we can buy. So I completely agree, get Victor Osimhen, let's win this league. But the real point is that I need to be seeing Edu actually sell some players for good money, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think Edu's like, I've never rated him. I think he's terrible. He's all right at bringing players in, but the outgoings, and the reason why we're like towing the line with the financials and sustainability stuff is because our selling is so bad. TJ, what up? Guys, if you haven't subscribed to TJ Warren TV, he's absolutely the best. We like started at a similar time. That's my bro right there. The best guy, and he always gives me a reality check when I'm being too positive. So yeah, Fran, we're finished, says TJ Warren TV. It do be feeling like that. I unfortunately, and to my like pain, I suppose, I like, until it's mathematically impossible, like I still think we can win the league, you know. But in terms of, I don't know, maybe I'm just prolonging the pain for myself. Connor, who is a guest on TJ's show, again, really great. You must follow TJ Warren, says cool the season off. Honestly, I'd be happy for us just to go straight to summer. I've had enough. I've had enough. What's up, Phil? Saying, hey, lovely friend. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys, the comments are flying in. Good evening. Thank you for the pancakes. No worries, Lottie. Yep. I always hated Eddie for 21 years. Yeah. So right, let's keep going. Quick match overview. Right. So I actually thought we started quite strongly. That's what I've got written down. I thought so there were a few changes, right? That's the thing. So in the preview, I was calling for some tactical changes, and we had the double pivot back, Jorginho and Rice, which I thought looked actually a lot more steady. I was feeling really optimistic, you guys. My thumbnail was all like happy, and I thought we were going to get it done. And it's just like this sinking to reality that you're watching in real time. So, there was what else was it? KIWIOR was playing, but Arteta wasn't making him invert. So that looked better because it was a mess when KIWIOR was trying to invert. So we had the double pivot. There was no left defender trying to invert. Odegaard was playing up a bit higher. Havertz was more out of the way. He was up front, so he wasn't able to be useless in midfield, only useless up front instead. And Nelson was playing cool. Like, he was really exciting. So for the first 15, 20 minutes, I was actually feeling really positive. We were dominating the ball. However, there was that sinking feeling like we need to start putting away some of these chances, or exactly what did happen was going to happen. And big up Del Boy, I've just seen you. Useless bollocks of a manager, sack him now. Yeah, I love it. I love it. What's up, Rennie? Liga Rat Army is here. I see you guys. The rats are in the building. I would consider myself like half rat, perhaps. Perhaps like a crossbreed. I'm not full rat quite yet. Maybe my mother was like rabbit or something. Half rat, half rabbit, but slowly morphing into more of a rat. Yeah, maybe it's just not fully sunk in for me yet, but we'll see where I'm at by the end of this stream. So actually, I thought it started pretty well. However, it gets to half time and it's still 0-0. My notes are, how are we not 3 goals up? It was a dominant start. More direct play in the early stages. The attack was looking a little more fluid. Lots of linking up, lots of early chances. Cool. Okay, but that's not where it ends. That's where it started. It started nice. Okay. And then it was just this downhill snowball thing. By halftime, also there were a couple of warnings before halftime as well. Crossbar hit by Trent in the 44th minute. We so nearly went in at 1-0 down. And so halftime, basically, I want to see them come out and actually take 1 or 2 of these chances, because it's dominating, but none of these goals are going in the back of the net. Ridiculous decision making from Saka, one of his worst games I've ever seen. Havertz got worse and worse as the game went on. It was like they saw that they missed 1 or 2 chances, and perhaps in their head they were like, this thing is happening again. The thing is happening again, and they just completely lost it. So halftime, it just went downhill from there. More missed chances. In the 57th minute, there was a free kick, a good flick over by Havertz to Saka, and Saka absolutely fluffed the volley. As that was that bit on the screen. Look at him. What's he doing? 61st minute, Martinelli comes on, cooks Trent. The stadium starts to wake up, and then yeah, and absolutely nothing happens. There's a few warning shots again from Liverpool. Liverpool start to dominate a little bit more. And at that point, you can feel the game slipping away from us. We've missed so many chances. They couldn't score in a brothel. That old saying. No composure, no confidence in front of goal. Again, I said it's like they're playing this game that, oh, let's see how many times we can strike and not get it on target, guys. Like a little tally in the dressing room. Fun game. No. 79th minute, 1-0 Liverpool. And even then, I've written on my notes here, still 10 minutes to go, like the mug I am. All right, still 10 minutes to go. We can do this. We've had so many chances. It's just killing my spirit. I'm quite a positive person. You guys have probably noticed, but this is killing me. So 79th minute, and then there's still no changes from Arteta. I'll get to the substitutions. So after we go 1-0 down in the 79th minute, to be fair, 80th minute, Arteta decides to sort this out by bringing on Eddie, really truly showing his faith in this boy, and Eddie does absolutely nothing. And then what? Not Trossard and ESR. I was screaming at the TV, at least bring on ESR. Take off Havertz. By this point, Havertz can't hit a barn door. Saka can't hit a barn door. I don't even know where. No, Nelson's already come off. I can't even remember who else up front. Oh, Martinelli. Martinelli's all over the place, back in left back. The chances are getting fewer and further between, and even more off target. And then I'm screaming for ESR to come on, or Trossard something, and it's the 87th minute. The 87th minute. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. What do you expect them to do in the 87th minute? If it was the Prem, we'd get like 5 minutes extra time or whatever. But do you seriously not know that in the FA Cup, you only get 1 or 2 minutes of extra time? Absolute joke. Absolute joke. How dare you? I'd be so upset if I was Trossard or ESL. What do you expect me to do, boss? 87th minute. I felt for them. I really felt for them. But we'll get into player ratings. Anyway, so that was that, basically. Absolutely shocking performance. And we'll get more into depth of it when we do the player ratings. Let's do player ratings now. Screw it. I'm on a roll, okay? We'll go back to all that stuff, yeah? So we've got post-match presser, and we've got some stats. There you go, the stats. Ian Wrighty quote. But I want to get into player ratings now because, yeah, let's just do it. Player ratings is my favourite part. And from there, we can like delve a bit more into what actually happened in the match. So let's see what a few of you guys are playing. saying, Governators, new name in the chat, welcome. As a Liverpool fan and art lover, hello, welcome. I will be drawing, although don't even talk to me about drawing Liverpool players right now, but I will be moving on to drawing players from other clubs. I've already drawn a Ronaldo thing. I did a Maradona. So I want to start drawing legends from other clubs too. So if you hang on, there will be some videos. I've just got to get my Arsenal guys out of the way first. You know how it is. You know how it is. But welcome, welcome, welcome. All people are welcome here. Phil saying he was delighted to see Nelson start. I was also quite happy to do it. But Magnificent Jafar saying we fucked up, sorry, our financial budget on Kai. How on earth do you expect to challenge City and win the league and just go on and cash on 65 million on Kai? This just baffles me. You're really going to make me do the Kai Havertz rant again. Should we do it now? Should we do the Kai Havertz rant again? You've triggered me. You're going to do it. So I don't know how on earth we could go into the transfer window. Bear in mind, this is Granit Xhaka, who has played shockingly for 4 years. We finally managed to get a tune out of him in the 5th year of being, was it 5th, 5? However many years at Arsenal, many, many years, okay? And the only thing that you needed to do is get someone slightly better than Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka is no world beater, okay? He's not Ronaldinho. He's not Messi. He's Granit Xhaka. He runs up and down, has a bit of bite about him, and can sometimes put the ball near the goal. Okay, that's kind of unfair. Good at linking up. You just need a box-to-box midfielder. But in their arrogance, Edu, Arteta, Garlic, the whole gang decide, you know what? Let's be super clever here. Let's get a project player. Let's get someone that they thought, they're not going to be able to do anything with that guy. It's an arrogant signing. It's a statement signing. It's getting someone that people look at and think, oh my gosh, why did they get that guy? So that we can make him good. And then they'll think, damn, they're so clever. No one thought of that. Look how clever they are. And instead of actually doing something that you know is going to work, someone who's going to come in, hit the ground running, you'd rather get a surprise project player that you're going to turn out to be good, maybe, than actually do something that straight away is going to help the team and improve the team. For me, last season, going into the summer transfer window, it seemed like such an obvious thing. And as Curtis always says, if it's obvious, if it's easy, if it's clear, Arsenal won't do it. What we need to do, carry on playing that same beautiful style of football, get a replacement for Granit Xhaka and get a few more substitutes, you know, like up front, maybe in defence, which we did for during Timber. But all this money wasted on Kai Havertz, Declan Rice of quality signing, to be fair. But there were players going for 35 mil. I can't remember how much players like Kudus and Szoboszlai have been. Everton's players, their midfield are quality. We could have got 2 solid midfielders to carry on doing Granit Xhaka's role, but instead you've completely switched things up. You've got a project player in Kai Havertz who needs all sorts of extra attention and extra time to get his confidence up. Why not just get someone that was at least semi in form? Like, from the beginning of this decision, I've been so annoyed about it. And I'm still so annoyed about it, especially now that it seems that the chickens are coming home to roost and these dumb, arrogant decisions are actually coming to bite you in the back. Why couldn't you just get a player that would do Xhaka's job and carry on? Why change it when it was working? Why change something that was working? The only thing you needed to tweak was the defence. And by bringing in Declan Rice, as I say, that's like bringing in 5 defenders anyway. That's more than enough improvement, as well as Timber. To your defence, keep the attack how it was. The system was working. Oh, damn it. Right. Kieran Tierney is probably looking at this and laughing his head off. Yeah, he deserves to. Like, absolutely great guy. I will star Magnificent Jafar's question, but I don't dodge these questions. So, question for you, Fran. Do you think Arteta can win us any major honours, i.e. Premier League, Champions League? If not, what's the need to back this guy? I'll be able to answer that for you like with 100% certain. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what it is. I do think that Arteta could win us some major honours. However, before you all leave the channel, right? I think he can do that in X many years' time. Like, I think with a few more years of experience under the job, maybe 5 or 6 years in the Prem, another 5 or 6 years at another club, then he'll be able to. So I think he is a manager that can win teams like Arsenal, potentially major honours. but that would be in about 10 or 15 years. So I think he is a really good manager down the line. He's clearly got what it takes, you know, but it's nursery settings, it's nursery FC. He's learning on the job. All these experiences, we are the guinea pig. We are a chemistry set that's been given to a 3-year-old, and one day he might become Albert Einstein, right? But at the moment, he's smashing beakers all over the place with all great intentions, okay? Mixing this chemical with that chemical, going, oh, that didn't work. Next year, I'll try something else. Oh, this didn't work. Next year, I'll try something else. In about 10 years or so, I think he is a manager that could potentially win league titles, but there's so much that needs to change and so much growing and so much learning. I still think it's so absolutely insane that they put someone who's never been a football manager in their life in charge of Arsenal Football Club. And that's what I think. I think he's really got potential. I don't think anyone can argue that, right? But things really need to change, like his arrogance, his stubbornness, his inability to rotate teams, right? He doesn't have that experience behind him. This has always been the problem. I don't hate the guy. I don't doubt his potential or that he's got like what it takes one day to be a really good manager. But it's like, when will that be? And I'm not okay with Arsenal being used as a learning playground, because at the end of the day, like, time matters. People's time matters. And this year more than ever, I've realized, like, your family won't always be around. Like, football fans that have been visiting the stadium every day of their life, spending every bit of spare hard-earned cash on the football club, they won't be around to see it if you let this like toddler of a manager, I'm sorry, Mikel, you're a really great guy, right? If you let this toddler of a manager keep using our football club, which means so much to so many of us, as an experimentation ground, as a guinea pig, these fans, these people who this football club means everything to, won't be here anymore. And I don't think, like, as business owners, you can, in good conscience, allow the football club to be used in that way. I know that's like a bit of a more expansive answer to the question than things, but in short, I think one day, yeah, he could be a manager that could win a club the Prem, but clearly that's not right now. That's my answer. So Benny White was the only one with striker boots on. What a shot. Yeah, the only one with a good shot. Again, our defenders are the best players in the team. As a Liverpool fan and art lover, how did you not win? Big up to you. So cut a long story short, our strikers can't hit a barn door. They're so out of form. No one knows. However, for 1 or 2 games, perhaps like West Ham, you think it might be an anomaly, right? But then another 2 games this happening and it's a pattern. And then you add up, basically it's a symbol of bigger problems that have grown throughout this season and have occurred due to odd transfer decisions. I don't think at this point you can say it's just a blip or, oh, this is so random that our strikers aren't scoring at the moment. Like, oh my God, how quirky. No, like, you're asking as a Liverpool fan, it might have looked like Arsenal are doing well this season, but now it's no longer like an odd result that our strikers can't hit a barn door. Yeah, we need strikers that actually have a killer's instinct. And I think the fact that all of them can't shoot at the moment now is symbolic of a larger problem with perhaps the way that they're coached and like this huge controlling, meddling way that perhaps they're coached, and they can't. My theory is that they don't have the license or confidence to work on instinct, and any natural goal scoring instinct is being coached out of them at the moment, because how can a whole team of really talented strikers, as we've seen last season, goal scorers all over the pitch, suddenly not be able to hit a whale if it was in a swimming pool, you know? I hope that answers your question a little bit. We have outspent Real Madrid since 2008. Let that sink in. Yeah, I think someone commented that the other day. We've had the money. That ain't an excuse we can use. AJ saying, friend, huge congratulations, 733 subs. Thank you guys. We're growing. Awesome. Thank you so much. Spot on, Fran. I love it. Bless you guys. Thank you so much. So let me put a little poll in the chat and actually gauge kind of how you're feeling about Arteta at the moment. So, oh, sorry, the echo was real there. Okay, so Give me 1 sec, guys. So let's see how you guys are feeling. I'm going to ask that same question that Mr. Jafar asked. Oh, why am I logged in as my sister? Hold on, you guys. Grab a sip of your tea. Let me work out what's going on. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Give me a second. Put any questions in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling. So thank you very much for 733 subscribers. Oh my gosh, this is chaotic. I've only just started learning how to do polls, so give me a second. Sorry, guys. There we are. New poll in the chat. Everyone look in the chat and I'll gauge kind of how you're feeling. Really good question, by the way, by Mr. Jafar. So Saka was shocking. He needs to be dropped. What's up, Adam? I agree. And we're going to get on to player ratings. The Governor says, honestly believe Klopp was trying to throw that game. That's the worst part. It's so embarrassing. But Arsenal couldn't finish their dinner. Have lots of time for Arsenal. Was rooting for them last season. I honestly have quite a lot of time for Liverpool as well. I feel like we're the last of the big clubs. Well, it feels like it. Like not run by like oil, you know, by oil money. So I think Liverpool are cool too. You give me faith that. To be fair though, we've outspent Real Madrid, so we might as well be run by an oil state. I don't know. Honestly, it looked like Klopp couldn't believe that we weren't managing to score. You guys have another cup final in like a couple of days, so it did look like he was willing to like forego having to replay the game and just to put on youngsters as well. I thought was even more of like rubbing it into Arteta's face, because a huge criticism of Arteta is that he hasn't integrated any of our academy youngsters over this time. It's absolutely crazy. Fran, at least you can watch a good team tomorrow night. Man United against Wigan. Are you joking? Wigan aren't that good. Right, so Ramsdale was obviously in goal today. Put your ratings for Ramsdale in the chat. But I was pleasantly surprised with Ramsdale, and that's just messed with my head again, because I thought, like, remind me why we got rid of this guy again. I thought he played really well, especially that amazing save that he had in about the 76th minute from Diaz. Like, stunning. Apart from that, he didn't have many difficult saves to make. But he did also a really good long ball to Nelson, which led to a really early chance, which Nelson then fumbled. With why when our attackers get the ball, do they take like 8 or 9 touches and then it's too late to actually take a good shot? But yeah, he had very little to do really until that great save in the 76th minute. I think he made his point. Again, why have we done that? Apparently, this deal for Raya, the 35 mil, you've got to remember that's like a buying thing, and that's 35 mil off our budget that we could have been spending on other players. But this whole goalkeeping thing seems to, it's not 35 million pounds worth of improvement, is it? And we were reminded again tonight that Ramsdale is pretty much the same level as David Raya, perhaps with a bit less calmness with the ball at his feet. But like, does that really matter in the big scheme of things? So we've got 7, 6.5, 4. You're harsh. 7. Both goals were not his fault. Oh my god. The second goal, was it the second goal? So the first goal, I believe. Oh no, the first goal was the KIWIOR own goal. You couldn't write it. You could not write it. The amount of stick this guy's been getting, like, about. Oh, it was a really good shot. It was a really good header. Man. So we got 5 from Rene. Nelson should have chipped the keeper, Fran. Yeah. He instead just took like 8 touches, ran all the way to the back line, and then hit into the side of the net. Oh, God. But at that point, it was like, oh, we're getting lots of chances. You know, one of these has got to go in. To like, stupid of me to think that, right? Ridiculous. Colin said we didn't even use our young players in a dead rubber against PSV. Klopp used his against us away in the cup. Yeah, and I had a Liverpool chat. I think it was Ensman TV yesterday saying Klopp uses like rotates to play a team that he knows will just be good enough to win, and that's so true. So he calculates exactly like the standard that's needed to beat the team they're playing against, and that's what he'll play, like never over playing like too strong a team. And towards like the end of the second half, that was what was really upsetting to me, the fact that you had 2 young players on, and really like the gulf in quality was so apparent to see. Maybe not perhaps in like the individual touches of each players and stuff, but it really did look like men versus boys. Perhaps in terms of like the mindset and what it looked like, men versus boys out there in the second half. I really was thinking like, oh my gosh, this Liverpool team is so much better than us. And we blew them out of the park last season. How have we got so much worse after spending 200 mil over the summer? It's mind-boggling. So you reckon, hey, Mr. B, what's up? At least KIWIOR scored for you today. Goodbye. No, I'm kidding. Hope you're doing well. Can we still have Ivan Toney, perhaps, on the cheap, on the down low? Yeah? Right, so let's say, so you guys are saying between a 4 and a 7. So let's go kind of somewhere in between. Let's give him a 5.5 for Rambo. Very fair, you know. The fact that he didn't really have much to do, but what he did was fine. He didn't have a chance really to properly excel because there were barely any like clear-cut chances against us. So that's good. Right, let's move on to the next player. Benjamin White. Benjamin White. So yeah, playing right back, his usual position. He's not having to invert, even though KIWIOR wasn't inverting either. So for once, we actually had 2 fullbacks who were just playing as fullbacks, which was refreshing and why I felt quite optimistic at the beginning of the match. So a couple of weird moments from him, but generally I don't think he had a stinker, which is kind of quite good praise at this point for the team. Did you guys think he had a stinker? I didn't. I thought he was kind of average, maybe just below. Was he at fault though for one of the goals? I think he might have been. Was it the second goal? I don't know. But either way, the second goal, like the match was over by then. We weren't gonna equalise. So let me know what you thought about Benny Blanco. I might have like missed something here, but I thought he was all right. He had the best shot in the game in the 37th minute. Was it saved? I think it was saved. But actually a bit of power on it. Can we talk about how weak the shots were from these strikers? Especially Havertz. I can hit a ball harder than that, probably whilst wearing Ugg boots. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. You know, at least, if it's not going to go on target anyway, okay, at least hit it hard. But it was dribbling like off target as well. At least give it a bit of power. If you want to perhaps chance that there'll be a deflection, you do need to smack it as hard as possible. Then at least the ball's travelling with force in the right direction. If it clips someone's knee, boot, foot, head, then it's more likely to go in the back of the goal, you know, than just be like outwardly blocked. So let's see what you're saying about Benjamin. Ramsdale man of the match. You reckon? Oh, that's damning from a Liverpool fan. Jeez. Are you just like creeping around all the Arsenal channels to like cook in your victory and just bathe in our tears? I love it. I love it. That's super villain energy from you. Oh, so you guys actually saw Mr. B always gets upset when I mention Ivan Toney, because obviously he supports Brentford. Do subscribe to Mr. B. Right. Big up Ensman TV. Big up. Do you subscribe to Ensman? Interesting results. You're loving this. You're loving this. God damn it. So Ben White, 3, 3, 2, 0.5 Renee. Damn. Ben White 2. Honestly, start 2. Think we need a new right back. I wouldn't actually argue with you. I know they've been saying that he's been playing with a knock recently, but he's definitely playing about 80% of his like potential at the moment. He's being okay, but has really dropped off from last season. Thing is, he never really, to me, like seems to make huge stinkers. He's just not like the exceptional level that we need at the moment. But I thought he played better this game than we've seen in the last 2 games, which isn't saying a lot because he's been really terrible recently. Magnificent Jafar, you're right, saying 3 very poor in defending one-on-ones. Yeah, at the moment he's doing this thing where like he doesn't go out and close them down and just kind of lets play continue. Like he's soft, isn't he? He doesn't go in and ever like just knock these guys out, not knock these guys out, but like he's quite a reserved kind of player. It would be cool to have someone that just goes nope and shuts down everything. So yeah, I was thinking about a 4.5, but you guys seem to think it was a little bit worse than that. Second half, I forgot White was playing, said F94 5. Yeah, I forgot he was playing the second half. He never, I don't know, like he didn't have any shockers today, which is like recently he has been. So I guess that's a step in the right direction. But since you guys are giving it a bit lower, 3 to 0.5, 3. Should we go a bit lower then and give him a 3.5? Letting in 2 goals like that, it can't be done, can it? The defense were good, right? Saliba, Gabriel, and Rice defended really well, but I can't really. They kind of defended well in spite of the fullbacks. That's what I will say. They defended well despite having White and KIWIOR next to them at times. It feels like those 3 are really strong defensively, and it's like they're kind of picking up the pieces for the other 2. So yeah, 3.5 for Ben White. So let's do KIWIOR next, yeah? I think he's next anyway. Oh no, Saliba's next. Okay, well, let's do Saliba and Gabriel together. So I always kind of mark them as a pair because they're so good. And Gabriel, I've written, he was very good as always. Let me know if I got this wrong, by the way. I may well have seen it wrong. And Saliba, I wrote, he's been really good, especially dribbling out. Great tackles. He did that really great last-ditch tackle where the timing was just, so he slides in and gets the ball perfectly and took out the player, but it's not a foul because he got the ball. Saliba and Gabriel, fantastic. I feel bad for them at the moment, to be fair. They're playing so well week in, week out, but when the rest of the team is like collapsing at the core, how much can they really do? If the team continues to play like this, these guys are going to get fed up really quickly because it's not on them to score the goals. They're doing their job. They're keeping the ball out of the net for the majority of the game, unless someone else screws up. It's never really Saliba or Gabriel that screw up. It's the guys around them. They're going to get fed up really quickly if this keeps happening. So Saliba, you guys are agreeing. You got 7, 7, 7 or 8, 7. Not that guy to rub in a loss. I think Ramsdale was good. I know. I was only joking. You seem like a really nice Liverpool fan. A few, yeah. I know Arsenal fans are like the worst, but I've met some really irritating Liverpool fans. But yeah, normally Arsenal fans, we get the worst rep. But I like to think us guys in this chat are all nice, you know. But some of them are very intolerable. Fran and everyone, take care off to the gym. Get it, E-Rolls. See you all on the next stream. I'll see you, man. Thank you for jumping in. Go and take that frustration out. Go and get some punching bags, get some heavy weights. You'll feel much better afterwards. I wish I was going. Maybe I'll go downstairs and like lift up some cushions or something. I'm so hungry. Take care, E-Ross, legend of the chat. Absolute legend. So Saliba and Gabriel, 7s or 8s, yeah? Yeah, Saliba, Gabriel. Honestly, we're letting them down. We're truly letting them down at the moment. So yeah, Saliba and Gabriel, let's give them a 7s, yeah? 7s around the board. Actually, no, they were better than that. 7.5. They did let in like 2 kind of sloppy-ish goals, and the set pieces are really sloppy at the moment. Our defending of set pieces, but they can't do it all on their own, can they? So for me, I'm going to give them 7.5. Great. Those guys are always fantastic. And so next up, KIWIOR, JAKUB KIWIOR. What did you guys think? As Curtis Shaw's chat always likes to say, the kiwi is not ripe. I like to say that the kiwi has not even been planted yet. The seed is still dry on the edge of the kitchen table, not even been planted. Having said that, though, he looked a bit better today, given the fact that he wasn't being made to invert, and it was just kind of like, try and defend the best you can. What I wrote is that he doesn't seem to be inverting. It's better that he's not having to go in midfield. I also wrote that it looked like he's bulked up a bit, which is completely irrelevant. I don't know why I bothered making notes sometimes, but let me know your thoughts on KIWIOR. Oh my god, I forgot about the own goal. He went and scored an amazing header. He was the best striker in the game. The best shot on target was JAKUB KIWIOR's header, which went straight into the back of the goal. RAMSDALE couldn't have done much about it. Really good header. He was completely unmarked, at least. My boyfriend was a bit more kind to him, saying like, oh, he had to kind of get a touch on it, didn't he? But the thing about being an elite defender is that, yes, you do have to get a touch on it, but an intrinsic part of the role is that when you get the touch on it, you're supposed to direct it away from the goal. The attackers that are in the box are the ones that are supposed to direct it towards the goal. It was, in all fairness, it was a really good kick in from Trent, but we know that's what he does. What did you guys think about the KIWIOR own goal? Am I being too kind on him? What are you guys saying? So KIWIOR obviously gets a 10. I mean -10. Yeah. Luca, what's up, buddy? Is this an open stream? Unfortunately not. I'm not collaborating as much at the moment because I'm trying to grow just the solo side of things. And then when the channel's nice and big, then it's collaboration central, yeah? But I hope you're doing well. Everyone subscribe to Luca AFC if you have not. I bet you're fuming tonight, Luca. I'm going to have to go and watch Luca's reaction after this. AJ saying KIWIOR a 0. Never going to be good enough. 24 million down the drain. 24 million. I still just can't get over the fact that we bought him last January. And last January was when it was like, Arsenal, if you kick on and get a few key players, you can go and win the league. This was when Curtis was saying, like, Kroenke, show me that you actually care about silverware. Funny that I'm saying that again, right? If you go and get a few players, then we could actually go and win this league. Like, amazing. You know, we were on such a good run, but it was starting to fall apart at the seams a little bit. We just had to get a few good players, bit of defensive backup, and he brings in KIWIOR, right? Cool, whatever. Give the guy a chance. Maybe it's a hidden gem. And when SALIBA got injured, even though KIWIOR is a centre-back by trade, Rob Holding is played in defence over our new signing, JAKUB KIWIOR. Why get him? I don't believe it. And today he scores a beautiful own goal. Beautiful, of course, means sarcastic. So Luca gave him a 5. That's quite generous, to be fair. We'll finish 4th, maybe 3rd. It's honestly, unless something major happens in January, like, it's crunch time. January is crunch time. Show us if you actually like give a shit about the club, basically, to Edu and the guys in charge of selling and buying. Keep up the amazing work. I just finished my reaction. Guys, do go and check out Luca's reaction, okay? Keep up the amazing work to you too. Bet Edu is the transfer guru, right? Yeah, sure. Luca, no chance, with all due respect. Oh my God, Spurs and Villa will get 3rd and 4th. For me, not winning is crisis enough, but not even getting in the Champions League spots, I'm Arteta out at that point. I'm sorry. So KIWIOR played better than normal, but I can't forgive that own goal. For me, 3.5. But how much do I blame him when he's barely ever given a chance to play? Only now that Zinchenko is actually injured is the guy given a chance to play. So AJ, what's up? Thank you. I should probably make some of you guys mods soon, right? 33 likes. Thank you so much. Oh, I've been too kind, have I? Salvatore would give him a 2. Yeah, at the end of the day, it was credit to Arteta. I know that hurts to say that he didn't make him invert. I mean, it shows, that's what's frustrating to me. He showed today that there were tactical changes that he could make. So not making KIWIOR invert, bringing in Jorginho to help out Declan Rice a little bit. And it was better, but you couldn't write it. KIWIOR scores a ridiculous own goal header. But at that point, we still had 10 minutes to go. I'm pretty sure that was the first goal, right? Yeah, at that point, we still had 10 minutes to go. Like, if the team actually kicked on, looked like they gave a rat's ass, we could have equalised and perhaps won the game. But it was a really, really bad own goal. Sorry, KIWIOR. Right. Jorginho next, guys. Let me know your ratings for Jorginho. 5 is like an averagely good game. Yeah, nothing of note, no stinkers, but nothing incredible either. So I'd be putting KIWIOR at around 5.5, 6 mark, really. Absolutely no stinkers, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. So I did make a note that our midfield was looking a lot more solid. And I used to not really rate Jorginho at all, but maybe it's that the level of the team overall has dropped so low at the moment that I thought Jorginho was actually a welcome presence in midfield next to Rice. I thought he actually just did what it says on the tin for a Jorginho, which was kept things ticking over in quite a chaotic game. You got him and he was quickly taking the ball and passing it on. Kind of just the job that he was asked to do, really. So I wrote that he did good passing, keeps things ticking over. He helped take some of the defensive responsibility that Rice has had to deal with recently. So Rice is basically carrying the whole midfield. Jorginho took a bit of that slack and allowed Rice to get a bit more involved. He also is quite a good shithouser, if you'll excuse my language. He wins free kicks so easily. The guy he's really good at winning a free kick. He's a little wind up, and I appreciated that about him today. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Jorginho today, and I don't know what that says about our team, but I thought he did well. So he was obviously playing the defensive midfield role, and Rice was allowed to maraud around a little bit more, and it worked out well for the most part until we absolutely bottled it in the second half. But not Jorginho's fault, especially, I didn't think. So I'd give him about 5.5, 6. 6. Oh no, Jafar's calling me out. Fran, not gonna lie, I can see you clearly have zero faith with this manager, just forcing yourself to be wrong. Don't worry, I'm on the same page. Well, I'm glad you're on the same page. I want him to succeed. That's the thing. I actually like the guy, and I do really appreciate the way that he's turned around the entire culture of the club. That's not easy to do. Do you remember how divided our fan base was and how terrible our relationship was with all of the players, how disinterested the fan base was? The fact that he came in and said, right, I'm going to achieve this. So he set out that he was going to make the fans feel close to the club, was going to improve the way the Emirates felt, bring back the culture of the club. And he did that, in all fairness. Tell you what, if I could keep him around as what about the fan relations officer? So he still works for Arsenal, and he's in charge of a feel-good factor, keeping the fans and players and the crowd all together and united, and with a feel-good factor. He gets to look after Win the Dog. I'd be here for it. I think he's so good at that. However, perhaps bring in someone else to do everything football related. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I guess I don't want him to do the football related stuff anymore. But I really, really admire the other stuff, all the stuff that's non-football related. So maybe that's my stance from now on. Just take him off football related duties and have him as Arsenal well-being executive officer. Which, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. He can get his light bulbs out in the crowd. Imagine him walking around with light bulbs, handing them out to the crowd as come on guys, get behind the team. Did you see in his press conference today, he was asked about whether we need a striker in January, and he had the nerve to say the fans need to get behind the team. Yeah, I'm not buying that. So yeah, 6 for me for Jorginho. Next, Declan Rice. Again, he never really has a stinker of a game unless it's against his old club. So benefited from having Georgie and vice versa. I thought he was a little bit less exposed. Mops up every defensive situation, but I think he could have done more. So because Jorginho was in the 6, Rice was allowed more into the left 8 kind of role, but it still seems like he's hardwired to be a bit more of a defensive player, and he needs more practice of being allowed to attack a little bit more. It seems like it's kind of out of his comfort zone to really get involved in the attack. So again, really good defensively, but I thought he could have helped out in the attack a bit more. Probably a 5.5 for me for Declan's very high standards. So he played kind of average for his standards, Rice, yeah. Oh, you're saying maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. So Rice is a 7.5. He's really 100 mil. Yeah. Rice gets a 7. I feel so bad for him. Yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, looking at the team that we saw last season, how exciting we were to watch, how vibrant the team was, how exciting the style of play was. It's like he was sold a lie. So he comes in expecting this, and suddenly, like, you're playing Sean Dyche ball, Jose Mourinho football, you know, just absolutely terrified of conceding. But today, I thought Rice was used a little bit better when you had someone else playing in the 6, and he needs to practice being allowed to have a bit more fun and not just be like the traffic warden stopping all traffic coming into our box, you know. He came to Arsenal to win trophies, says Posh Bertie, only to get turned over by his old club twice. Yeah, the team's absolutely let him down, especially against West Ham. I really feel for him too. So you're reckoning, Mr. B says Muller, Rice, 7. AJ saying 7. All right, maybe I should have to judge him against everyone else. For his own standards, I thought he was like pretty like average. But compared to everyone else, let's give him a 6.5. You guys are being too nice. You're not actually. I'm probably being a bit harsh. But. So F saying Arteta is a great number 2. City hit 100 points with him. Like Brandon says, he's a good coach, but not a good manager. Look how Klopp switched it up second half. Arteta never does that. Yeah, you're completely right. You're completely right. I'm not sure the coaching is like really winning me over at the moment. You are right though. You are right. Maybe he's a really good person like Carlos Cuesta, who's his second in command, where the coach can bounce ideas off him and he can do things like help bring the club and the players together. But maybe like that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have the experience to go back on when he's in tight situations, to look back on what has or hasn't worked in the past for him. Only through experience can you know what to do from having experienced similar situations. So it really does feel like, if you go back and listen to my rant earlier on in this stream, he's fumbling his way through it in the dark. And I think he's got the potential to be a really good manager one day. But right now it's just trial and error, and Arsenal being used like a guinea pig, or a set of crayons belonging to a toddler who has not learned how to write yet. Well put, Fran. Exactly right. J2O at 6, but not good enough. We need Zubimendi. Yeah, tell me about it. We need to sell. Midfield looked more solid in the first half. Jorginho gets a 6. I agree with you there, Bertie. So Luca giving him a 7. All right, so we're about right. 6.5, 7. F saying, I don't think Rice was that good today, but he's been let down this season. Completely agree. 6. Yeah, so 6, 7. He's really been let down this season. I mean, can you imagine if he had just been... That's the problem, though. Partey's so unfit. Maybe he... No! So I was thinking maybe Partey was meant to stay, and then Rice would have been a really good left 8, which he would be. Like, it looked good today if he got a bit more practice with it. But then I remembered that Havertz is brought in specifically to be the left 8. So how on earth was that going to work? I understand if Partey and Rice in midfield, but Rice and Havertz, that's a whole new midfield as well. Can we Odegaard is there, but with Partey out injured, which to be fair, they couldn't predict, but was so predictable. Partey was going to get injured. I mean, then you just have to have a whole new midfield of Rice and Havertz, and Havertz is a player coming in with absolutely zero form. It's just kind of being doomed from the off, right? So Odegaard next, guys. Get your ratings down for Odegaard, and I'll read out Bertie's comment. So it's either a physio or training drill issue. Partey was never injured at Atletico. Comes to Arsenal, his body is made of glass. No coincidence. Yeah, I mean, this has been spoken about the whole time that Partey's been here, and he's been so injury prone. Like, is it an issue with the way that we're training or with the training grounds? Like, I don't know. Either way, any decent club would be really, really seriously looking into it. Yeah. If there's a chance that there is something wrong with your facilities, then really, really seriously look into it. But I've been like told by top gooners that there's nothing wrong with the training ground. They have the best facilities. So who am I to think about that? I'm not really into conspiracy theories, to be fair, but okay, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the training pitches, but maybe with the training methods. Maybe they're going too hard in training. I don't know. Steve says, hi, Fran, you are so cute. Well, thank you. Make Rice captain, he will play better. Yeah, I think he could. Odegaard is our captain at the moment. And Renee says, oh, don't even remind me about Maddison. Says Odegaard is a 6. You could get Maddison for 100 mil, not Rice. You could get Maddison for less than 100 mil. What was it that Spurs paid for Maddison? It was definitely not 100 mil. But yeah, he would have done so much better than Kai Havertz. And that's what's kept annoying me about the Havertz signing, is that some teams have like dragged and dropped players in that have worked fine because they bought them when they were in form, like Maddison, Szoboszlai, I can't say his name, Kudus, all of Liverpool's midfield. Liverpool have got an entire new midfield. I can't remember exactly who plays in it, but they haven't taken 6 months to settle in, you know. Leicester, yeah, Leicester. Yeah, I'm not giving Leicester 100 mil. Rice was worth it, but I don't know if Maddison's worth it. No. 40 mil, 45 million. Absolute joke. Instead, you want to buy Havertz, who's been in the worst form of his life, for 65 mil. For me, the questions are on Edu. The questions are being pointed towards Edu and also Arteta, because we've been told that they really work like in tandem, right? And it's very much a team effort. So yeah, something's not quite mathing. Okay. I just wish I could give you a massive hug, sweetheart. That's very sweet of you, but let's keep it football. Rate Odegaard's game instead. So Maddison was 45 million. Odegaard, right. I actually thought he was all right. He set up quite a few chances, hit the crossbar at 10 minutes. I don't think he could have shot a lot more, to be fair. He did hit the crossbar at 10 minutes, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Odegaard, for me, he'll get a 5.5. Again, he's a member of this front 4 or 5 kind of players that last season would have been sticking it in the back of the net with the amount of chances they're creating, and he's just not doing it. Also, where's the leadership from him in the second half when we're a goal down? Why are we looking like Manchester United at the moment? Last season, I knew that if we went a goal down, that the fight back was real, right? And that's got to come from the captain. At the moment, when we go a goal down, it looks like they're defeated, which is very Manchester United. Where's the fight back this season? And that should come from the captain. So perhaps I'm being a bit kind with a 5.5. So yeah, for me, he gets 5.5. I want to see more from my captain. If Declan Rice would do a better job as captain, I'm sorry to say it, but that for me is the truth. Right, Reiss Nelson, the forgotten player, signed up on a new contract only to barely ever be played. I thought he started really positively. Put your ratings for Reiss in the chat, but he had a chance early on. Now I say that, I remember that chance early on, which he took about 9 touches for, went straight into the side netting. He looked hesitant in front of goal. He had a chance again at the 7th minute. He had quite a few chances, actually, now I'm looking back. But he was putting in a lot of work rate. He was here, there, everywhere, helping to defend. I always think he looks quite bright once he's come on. But very quickly, he kind of faded in the game after he was missing a few chances. Again, his confidence looked pretty shot. But I thought he started really well. A really bright start, but faded, and then was indeed taken off. When was he taken off? Was it in the 61st minute for Martinelli? Martinelli didn't do much better than him. He did just, yeah. But he couldn't finish his dinner. He's, let's just say none of the front 4 or 5 are going to get any more than a 5, and that's being kind. So Nelson, for me, will probably get the highest mark out of the front 3. So I'm going to give him a 4.5. Oh, you guys are giving higher marks. 7, 6, 7. Nelson, 7. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh then. But he's saying I need to go now. So if the rest Saka gets a 1, Havertz gets a 3. No problem, Bertie. Thank you so much for being here, for the amount of time that you've been. I hear that you might be starting your own channel soon as well, so keep me updated on that. I'll be live on Goonie Gathering tomorrow night, so I might see you in the comments then. But yeah, thank you for watching. So you guys reckon he's better? Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Nelson. I'm sorry. I'm not giving any of the attackers less than a 5. I mean, more than a 5. They could not finish their dinner. I've got the stats as well. So the amount of chances we had is just ridiculous. So total shots, 18 shots, only 5 on target, which in itself is like a little bit gross. 4 big chances, 4 big chances missed. That chance for Nelson at the beginning of the game was a really good chance. But I don't truly blame him because he's barely match fit, you know. Nelson 6, lively, but has to score that chance. Again, I'm rating it on like lively FC. He's put in a lot of effort and run around a lot. I would do that if I played for Arsenal, you know. I need the quality. For me, it's a 5. But you guys reckon I'm probably being a bit harsh there. He does get the highest score out of all of the front 3, okay? Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. B. I do agree, football stream, and I'm a taken lady. But thank you very much for being very sweet. I do appreciate it. So Kai Havertz, this is where the ratings really start to go down. So yeah, let me know what you think of Kai Havertz. I'm just trying to gather up the words to say about Havertz. Very poor. This was the Kai Havertz of Chelsea. The one that we bought in. This is the one that we bought. This is the player that we bought. This is the player that we bought, people. Why did they have the arrogance to expect that they could work miracles and take him back to the Bayern Leverkusen Havertz? This is the player that he's been for the last 3 years. He's had a few better performances recently, but today was abysmal. The shots had 0 power, 0 power. The slowest shots I've ever seen taken in my entire life. It looked like he was running through quicksand. It looked like the TV had been switched to slow-mo settings. Kai, that was really bad. That was really bad. Lots of missed chances is what I've got in my notes. He was up front at least, and we've been crying, you know, for Kai Havertz to be played up front, but he looked even worse than when he's played at left 8. What I thought the answer was that Kai Havertz would play up front and we'd try and mix it up, get it on his head, but he had a few headers today and missed them dismally. So if you were hoping in our team that the saviour would be Kai Havertz up front and then we start whipping in crosses, that's not the answer. Today has proved that that is not the answer. Again, if Kai Havertz scores a goal at the moment, it feels like that's a miracle rather than that expectation, which is how it feels when everyone's striking at the moment. So he did have a shot saved in the 7th minute, but I think it was a pretty pathetic shot. I've written that he had a rubbish shot on the 29th minute, moving so slow, moving in slow motion, such weak shots. All-round play has been okay, but no striking instinct at all. Yeah, I mean, even if any of you have played sport at any level, you know when someone has a striker's instinct. And today, at least, Kai does not have that. It didn't even look like anyone on our team has that at the moment. So yeah. To have a 65 million down the drain, honestly, yeah. Yeah, no, don't worry, Steve. I know you. I know it's all good. It's all joking. Don't worry, guys. It's all good. No mods at the moment yet, Mr. B. I'm gonna wait for the channel to get a bit bigger or for the comments to get truly mental. At the moment, I don't feel like I really need one. Everyone here is calm. So let's wait till we get a few more nutcases. Then I'll add you as a mod. So Shy Giraffe gets a 2. Do we start calling him 29 again? What, instead of Havertz? Let that be the last time we advocate for him playing as a striker. Yeah, I'm done with that. Not that I ever advocated for that anyway. I haven't really been buying these like performances that he's been giving recently. I've been against this signing, like, as I'm sure a lot of you have, like since day one. Nowhere near justified 65 million. The level he's got to has been okay, like about as good as everyone else in the team for the last few games, and now it's dropped off again. But 65 million for someone that is just about as good as everyone else, that for me has been the level that I've seen. He's by no means been outstanding or better than anyone else. He's just been okay. But today was not okay. Today was why Chelsea got rid of him. That was horrific in front of goal. Kai been missing quite a few headers recently. That Brentford goal must have been an anomaly. Yeah. How many goals has he actually scored this season? Is it 2 in the Prem? It really makes my soul just want to leave my body. Now, Fran, are you Mikel out? Mr. B, so don't ever mention that header against us again. Yeah, fair enough, Mr. B. Sorry, Mr. B. We must remember we've got a Brentford fan in the building. What header, Mr. B? What header? Oh God, yeah. So yeah, the only rate for me, it's a 1.5. It's a 1. It's a 1. It's a 1 for Kai. Kai has been given all the love and affection by Mikel, so many chances. Supposedly, this is his best position. So many chances and absolutely nothing in front of goal. He was shooting like a wet flannel, as was Bukayo Saka, but we'll get onto that. For me, it's a 1 for Kai. And Renee, earlier on, I spoke about whether I'm Mikel out, and the answer is yes and no. So I'm truly fencing. If I want him to stay around, like, to keep the harmony between the club and the fans, but I don't want him to be manager. So if he could maybe just be like moved into a different role in the club and we bring in someone who actually knows what they're doing on the pitch, then that would be fantastic. Not really an answer, I know, but if things carry on like this, then it's like just go away entirely. However, I do think it would be really pretty detrimental to rip out the whole of Mikel and his coaching staff. Things seriously need to change. Right now, it's horrific, right? But like the whole ethos and culture that's been built up is really good. So I'm kind of at a bit of a loss, really. I'm just like, I don't really know what to do at the moment. If I was in charge, I'd be giving him till the end of the season before moving him on. Or if they do manage to pull a miracle out the hat, then perhaps give him a bit more time. But yeah, I'm not quite at breaking point yet. I'll let you know. I'm heading there very slowly, and trying not to because I'm trying to be optimistic. But it's really not good. Really not good. My faith is really waning. And I want this guy to do well. I really want Arsenal to do well. I'm not anti-Arteta. As you guys have probably gathered, I'm quite pro him. But it's really testing my patience. Really testing my patience. So Renee says, Fran, if you were manager, would you want a young in your team or old player like Kai? Kai's not super old. He's like 24, right? I would want at the moment, I want maybe 26, 27 years old players to come in that know what they're doing, have confidence, have experience, but are not like right at the end of their careers. But I would take Karim Benzema, of course. So right, for me, Kai Havertz gets a 1. Let's talk about Saka. Let's talk about our star boy. I love Bukayo Saka so much. But something is seriously wrong with him at the moment. He has been the top scorer for us in the Prem this season, but Action Jackson. I can't say it, it's like a tongue twister. Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea has scored more goals than him, and Chelsea are way down in like 11th or 10th. I don't even know where they are right now. But Nicholas Jackson has scored more than Bukayo Saka this season. However, Saka has got quite a few assists as well. This has been his worst season. I mean, that says it all, really. The fact that after 4 years of Mikel Arteta, this is Saka's worst season yet. The manager should be making players perform better and better each season, but this has been Saka's worst season in an Arsenal shirt, like since he came into the first team, really. And that's still saying quite something because he's contributed more than anyone else to goals in our team. But something is really wrong with Starboy. SOS, save our Starboy. He needs this break, okay? He needs to go to Dubai, clear his head, speak to his agent, work out what's going on. I can see now why he doesn't have a 1-year extension option on his deal. He signed a deal without adding that doesn't have a option to extend like included. I think it's like 3 years or so, and then he's out. Like he doesn't have to. He doesn't. Yeah, it's something like that. So we really need to sort things out if we want Bukayo Saka to continue to want to stay at Arsenal for the prime, coming into the prime of his years at Arsenal, because at the moment he's playing worse. And he's going to know that, and he's going to be thinking like, why am I playing like this at the moment? Like, what's the coach not helping me with? What's going wrong for me? Players want to constantly be improving, and Saka will want to be. So he's going to be like losing his mind right now. Like, why can't I score? Like, why is my attacking so bad at the moment? Darren, what's up? Saying, I told you, Arteta over and out. It's looking like it at the moment. But I would say to you, like, right now, it's not over till it's over again. It's not over till the fat lady sings. At the moment, she's kind of humming. She's warming up. She's in the corridor, warming up her vocal cords, but she's not singing quite yet. We're still only 2 points behind the leaders of the Prem. But this is really bad. This is really, 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 really bad that we're out of both domestic cups. And I know I have a happy face. That's just kind of, that's my mask. Okay. But I'm actually feeling quite a lot of despair inside. I'm not very good at conveying it, but trust me, it's there. So yeah, Saka was really poor today. But I have to ask questions about the environment that he's finding himself in at the moment and the coaching, because he's fantastic. We know he's fantastic. But again, he's completely out of form, and so are all of the strikers. And for me, that says that it's something about the tactics or the coaching or the way they're being coached or taught. It's really weird. At this point, after today, I thought today that things were going to pick up and the strikers were going to go like, oh, false alarm, like we can actually score a goal again. Sorry about that. It was a funny couple of weeks, bit too much brandy over Christmas. Like, don't worry, we still can actually shoot a ball. But no. So for me, my logical brain just has to say like, this is more than a blip and something is really wrong with our form. Clearly, they're not the players that they were last year, but I'm just so confused. I'm so confused. Good evening, everyone, saying to Darren. Good evening. Daka is switching body with Saka. Please, no. That maybe Halloween has just gone on a bit longer than normal and they've all just been shape-shifted into Sunday League players because, yeah. Darren says, I'm royally pissed right off. Yeah. And the worst thing is that we've got 2 weeks now to like fester in our anger. And I would almost rather, I know that the players need, like right now, really the best thing for our players right now is 2 weeks off and a complete reset. I know that with my brain, but we have 2 weeks now to sit on this defeat. It's all very well for them being able to go out, fly to Dubai. I think that's where they're going, and like forget about it. And that's another thing, actually. I think that Mikel is far too nice to these players. I was writing notes, actually, and I think that he mollycoddles them. Never, ever, ever in the media do you see him saying, like, putting pressure on them. I want to see him come out in the media and say, like, I'm really disappointed with that. We're still trying to win the league. We're trying to win the league, and my players aren't playing well enough. It's always, never, ever does he say, like, the ambitions of the team. So it almost gives the players, like, an excuse, like, they're let off. That, like, he tries to protect his players from criticism, which is wholesome and all, but I feel like they're mollycoddled. He protects them, and sometimes your manager's just got to go out to the media and say, like, we're trying to win the league. That wasn't good enough. I want my players to perform better. But it's always, even today, he said, like, the fans really need to get behind the team. They're not babies, Mikel. They're grown men. And sometimes a bit of, you know, don't play North London forever. Play some hardcore rap music before going out onto the pitch. Okay, this is the real deal. We are crying out for Pedro Neto. Yeah, we are. We've got 2 weeks, right, to just look at all these players that we could get and probably won't get. So don't worry, we'll talk about Pedro Neto. ESR is on the bench and can do a job, yet this fool of a manager cannot see it. He's got something against ESR. He hates ESR. He doesn't rate ESR. And it seems like once he's made up his mind about a player, then that's it. Like, where's the second chances for them? He's decided, I'm not interested in playing the youth. I'm not interested in ESR. Like, but once he's made up his mind that he likes someone like Eddie, then that player will get so many chances. And it's so unfair. Imagine if you're a player like ESR or Nelson, you're actually training really, really well. And you're seeing someone like Eddie play week in, week out, even though they're not performing, like, your morale would start to sink really, really quickly. ESR, do a Balogun or a Tierney and leave, yeah. What's up, Jordan? Everyone subscribe to Jordan. Not today, my guy. Thank you, though, so much for asking. At the moment, I'm doing solo streams to build the channel, and then I'll start to collab a little bit more when the channel's bigger. But thank you very much for joining the chat. Also, I don't want to talk to a Liverpool fan tonight. I'm too upset. He bought a dog for them, and that's the sort of thing you do for your child, not footballers. Real talk, Darren. Real talk. Doran, a dog called Winless. Oh, we were asking for that. We were asking for that. Is ESR fit, though? That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, Arteta, why you do this? ESR is fit. ESR is fit. He hasn't been for a long while, but he's been fit for like a good few weeks now. Even like a couple of months, I think. But he's just been sat on the bench. So yeah, Arteta, why you do this? I don't know. And then he never reveals anything in press conferences either. I loved hearing Klopp yesterday because Klopp actually like just speaks to the reporters and tells them stuff. But Arteta, as I said, seems to think that he holds government secrets and that other managers and people are looking over his shoulder to find out his secrets. So he never reveals anything in a press conference. But no, no, that's not the case, Mikel. Get out of your own backside sometimes. But Tracy, hello. I think you're new in the chat. Welcome. I like your avatar profile picture. That's cool. Saying Arsenal overperformed last season. I therefore think it's harsh to criticise too much this season. I hear that. I hear that point of view. I highly rate him. I highly rate him. I highly rate him too. You say Trossard should be starting more games. I highly rate him, and I'm a City fan. Okay, interesting. We've got a City fan in here, and you reckon that Arsenal overperformed last season. I agree. I do. I kind of agree, but then I don't with the overperforming thing. Because I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans use that as an excuse not to put pressure on the board and stuff to like really go hard in January, for example, and turn around our results this season. They say like, don't worry, we overperformed last season. Like, this is our standard. I think you need to have the standard of like, no, we need to be the best or nothing at all. So I don't like hearing this like overperforming thing. It's like, oh, perhaps we got to where we want to be a little bit closer than we thought we would, but that's not overperforming. That's the standard that we need to shoot for. Yeah, I think at the moment, like, people are using the fact that we did so well last season as an excuse for poor performances this season, whereas I don't agree with that so much. I think that should always be the standard. This is the fucking standard, guys. The standard. But yeah, welcome to the channel. It's not a good time to be an Arsenal fan, I'll tell you that. I'd much rather be a City fan right now. Whew. Coward KIWIOR does it again from a corner. An Arteta by, good evidence for a sacking. That KIWIOR header was the best shot Arsenal had in the whole game. Fran, last season was the worst bottle in Premier League history. Yeah, I wouldn't call that overperforming. Imagine if Leicester bottled the league when they overperformed for a season, right? But they still managed to get the job done and actually win the Prem. Whereas Arsenal overperformed and then we bottled it, but because we were overperforming, it doesn't matter. And I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I used this analogy a lot last season. So pretend you're a 100-meter sprinter and you're against Usain Bolt. This is exactly what happened to Arsenal last season. You don't expect to be actually winning the race by 70 meters, yeah, but you're 5 meters, 90 meters, you're still 5 meters ahead of Usain Bolt. You're looking around going, damn, I'm really overperforming in this race. Just because you're overperforming doesn't mean that if you then trip over your own shoelaces with 5 meters to go, you haven't absolutely screwed up and bottled it and really done yourself dirty. So just because we were overperforming or whatever until like the final 5 weeks or 4 weeks or 3 weeks, 5 games, 8 games, I think, of last season doesn't mean the fact that we then shot ourselves in the foot is not like absolutely inexcusable, if you know what I mean. By the way, that's what happened. We were 5. Oh God, do you get what I mean by that? We did it to ourselves basically, and just because we were overperforming and going better than we thought doesn't mean that there was an excuse to then. It doesn't mean that when we then tripped over our shoelaces, we could say, oh, it doesn't matter, we were overperforming anyway. We were never expected to win that race. No, you got to be kicking yourself for that. My goodness. So Bukayo Saka was terrible. If in case I didn't say it, he's going to get the same. He's going to get a 1. There you go. Let's see how this poll is getting on though, guys. Ooh, so I wrote, do you think Arteta can win major honours with this team? 40 votes, that's massive. Hello, everyone. All 40 of you. Getting big time now. Do you think Arteta can win major honours with this team? Oh, yes, 15%. And no, 85%. Oh, damn. That's way more people losing faith than I thought. Interesting. So if Mikel's got his head screwed on even at all, he's going to be like, he's not going to be leaving London Colney. Arteta should not be going to Dubai. He should be in the offices with Edu, Garlic, the Kroenkes, calling emergency meeting with the Kroenkes and saying, the fan base is like turning their back on me right now, guys. Like, I'm losing support. I know I've been an idiot, but please do everything you can right now to turn this around in January. He's saying, we need to sell players, right? Let's sell them. I'm going to stop being stubborn. I'm going to let go of Eddie. I'm going to stop being stubborn. I'm going to let go of Ramsdale, even though Ramsdale's great. I'm going to let go of Nelson. I'm going to let go of Fabio Vieira. I'm going to let go of, who else could we let go of? Players like Marquinhos who are out on loan. Well, if possible. There are a few others that I can't think of right now, but I wouldn't be sleeping by how desperately I'd be trying to do absolutely everything in my power to turn this around in January. Luckily, this has happened right before the January transfer window, and this is the most important January transfer window in Mikel's time at the club. All of them have been very important, but this one's really make or break. You're starting to lose the fan base now, Mikel. Well, a good portion of them. You've still got the toxic positive guys who are going to be up your backside like till the cows come home. Some probably have your face tattooed on their chest, Mikel, so you don't need to worry about them. But the majority of us are really starting to, yeah, we're starting to turn, boy. I'm one of the most optimistic out there, and I have nothing personally against you, but these players are so talented, and I'm not going to let my affection towards a person who I think is a pretty cool guy let us waste this golden generation of Arsenal talent. I'm not about to sit here and let that happen. So, Mikel, you better sort this out. But I've just seen the Mexican Gunner in the chat. What's up? That's a new name. Welcome to the channel. I'm Fran. Welcome. I'm Fran, and I'm having a meltdown. He said, I never had faith in him, being Arteta out from the beginning. Well, yeah, that's because we're using it as, like, as we've been talking about in this stream, Arsenal being used as a guinea pig for a toddler, someone who knows absolutely nothing about what they're doing. It's being used as a guinea pig, as a mad science experiment, and we can't stand for it. 35 likes. What's up? Oh, that's 735 subs too. We got 6 new subscribers just on this stream. Fantastic. I'm not happy though. I'm still really upset. So welcome to the stream again. Please hit like and subscribe if you have not already. I know this is an interesting comment from the Mexican Gunner saying, I forgot who said it, but they were right. Ramsdale is not a keeper you win a title with. And I understand that. I'll accept that. But is David Raya? I don't know if David Raya is either from what we're seeing at the moment. But I do know he was really good at Brentford. Maybe this is just the fact that he's been put into like a shitty situation, if you'll excuse my language, that's like hurting his confidence. But yeah, I agree Ramsdale's not quite good enough from what we've seen, but I'm not sure Raya is £35 million worth of improvement, you know. ESR needs to come to Leicester. No, come on, no way. AJ saying, buy Tony to Mendy Neto. Zubimendi, and we will win the title. It's that easy. Yeah. However, they're so stubborn that at the moment they don't want to get rid of any players. They're saying they don't want to get rid of Nketiah, and we can't buy due to financial regulations of the Prem until we sell. So I completely agree. And any one of us, AJ, if you were in the corporate offices of Arsenal, you'd make that happen. Why are these guys not making it happen? As I said, if I'm Arteta, I'm not sleeping. I'm not letting Edu sleep. I'm in his bedroom showing him my iPad, going, get this guy, get this guy, get this guy. It's make or break, Mikel. And us as a fan base, the pressure is on now. You show us the ownership, the hierarchy at Arsenal, that you actually give a shit about winning the Premier League potentially. Or are you going to fall into the narrative that so many Arsenal fans at the moment are all ready to accept, which is, don't worry, we overachieved last season. Don't worry, you know, we had injuries. Oh, don't worry, we love Mikel. It was just unlucky this season. We go again. We go again. Are you really going to be cowards and take that way out? I would bet quite a lot of money on that you are, and you're not going to make it happen in January. And then that's it. That's it. But I'm not just going Arteta out. I'm going Kroenke out. Sorry. If they don't do something major in January, or then get rid of Arteta at the end of the season, if things continue to go this way, then it's Kroenke out because you have no standards. Yeah. So we were getting away with crap performances since the beginning of the season. Now it's coming home to roost. Yeah, completely agree with that. Do you know what really upset me, says AJ, if January, Tony Anderson from Crystal Palace, Neto and Zubimendi win the title and find a way. Yeah, if we get them, we win the title. There's no excuses. Who do you think is talented, Fran? I can count on one hand the decent players in this squad, no more. Odegaard, Silky, Saka, Martinelli. I really rate Gabriel, Saliba. You're right. In terms of like raw, really talented, like huge potential players, I kind of Declan Rice, I'd put in there, but the others are kind of meaty. You know what I mean? Mexican Gunner says the fact that he even allowed Nketiah to take the number 14 shirt to begin with, it's absolutely shameful. Shameful. Oh gosh, I'm missing so many comments. But let me just finish off these player ratings and we can chat. And I've got a bit of what Mikel said. Oh my gosh, I'm nearly at 1 hour and 45 minutes. Let me zoom through the substitute ratings. Martinelli was poor, 2, 3. Didn't really make the huge impact that he could have. 3 or 4 for me. Nketiah, 2. Did nothing once he came on. These guys had 3 minutes to prove themselves. So I'm going to give them a 5 because that's so unfair and it's not their fault. They didn't have time to even perform well or poorly. So Frankfurt Arsenal manager, make it so. Oh, I'm not assertive enough to be a manager. Right, manager rating. So actually today, my main criticism is bringing on the substitutions so late. But I actually thought the lineup was okay. I was glad that we weren't doing the left inverted thing. We had Jorginho in for the double pivot. I actually think today, isolated, we just made subs a little too late. So if it was today, I'd give him 6, 7. But really, this performance is indicative of larger issues caused by the manager and the transfer policies over the last couple of years. So on an isolated managerial performance today, it's fine. But this is really highlighting, the poor transfers, Havertz, KIWIOR, Marquinhos, Fabio Vieira, bringing in these like budget players that are not ready to go, they're project signings, Havertz especially. And the change in tactics for me, which were unnecessary from how well we were playing last season. But it's not personal, right? I know people get mad if you criticize Arteta. Like, I actually really like him as a human. I'd love to have a cup of tea with him, but I want the best for my club. And if that means him moving on and continuing to grow as the manager. I'll take him back in 10 years when he's got some experience. But time is of the essence. We need a trophy. We need a Premier League title. Salvatore straight in. I don't know how you say your name, sorry. With the 0, straight in with the 0. So I'd say 6 for today, but like this season, I'm giving you a 1. And that's because you managed to bring in Declan Rice. But I had faith, you know, I thought we're going to be more defensive this season. It's a bit more control. It's cool, but clearly it's not cool. It's gone far too much the other way, far too controlling. The attack's completely collapsed. It's been too much. It's been too much. And someone with a bit more experience would have known exactly how to. Thing is, it's his first time having had a really good team and then having to work out how to improve that to the next season. And the fact that it's a manager who's never experienced any of these things before falls on the club, and bringing in someone who's never been a top class manager before. As I said, he's got potential to be a really good manager, but it's all an experiment. It's all trial and error. It's all throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. But you don't have 100 years at Arsenal, okay? It's not preschool. It's not manager training camp. It's not a manager simulation. These players, year by year, these are their careers, these are their livelihoods, these are their lives. You're wasting their talent at the moment. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it personally. You've got to have faith in yourself to be a manager, but at some point you just look in the mirror and go like, I'm not quite ready for this. You know, with all due respect, Arsenal, I've tried my best, but I don't have the experience for this. Let me go to Cheltenham Town or Plymouth Argyle. I'd take him at Plymouth Argyle. He'd do great at Plymouth Argyle. And then hit me up in 10 years' time when I know a bit more about what I'm doing. Kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. So yeah. What's next? Yeah, what now? I got a little look at. We'll have a little look at some of the stats and things. Then I'll have to call it a day. Go and eat my dinner. Let's see a couple of your comments first, though. I'm sorry I'm missing so many comments, but you guys are going wild tonight. Thank you so much. So Ramsdale was bailed out many times. His performances were shaky many times. If we go on off moments, then remember that game against Southampton? They scored seconds after a Ramsdale mistake. Yeah, that was really poor. I do agree that Ramsdale, like, I understand that. I understand needing to upgrade on Ramsdale, but I just think that area wasn't so much of a priority as some other areas. And also, like, that wasn't the key thing that was, like, stopping us progressing. I would so much rather have seen, like, a new box-to-box signing to really be able to just, like, take on where Xhaka left off than a new goalkeeper. I do agree, like, upgrading the goalkeeper, but then also, have we upgraded him enough? Is Raya enough of a step up? Certainly from what we've seen this season, he's not. But maybe, yeah, it's just him settling in, whatever. But he really hasn't started off way better than Ramsdale, which, yeah, is really frustrating. Fran, do you remember when Maddison almost scored against Arsenal and Aaron saved it? You'd have to remind me. But I'm sure if I watched it again, I would remember. Darren rates Rice, Gabriel, Saliba, Trossard, Saka. I forgot Trossard. I really rate Trossard as well. Saka, and that's it. Yeah, they're definitely some of the most solid. I'd maybe stick in Martinelli, but that's up to you. Mikel is rubbish. Sack him. That's from a Leicester fan. So for the final time, for the cheap seats at the back, Tony is going nowhere. Only if a really, really, really massive offer comes in, and you lot have to sell first. So give it up already. How about a swap deal for Eddie Nketiah, Mr. B? How about you give us Tony, we give you Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Kai Havertz, or how about a direct swap for Kai Havertz? How's that sound? Please. Mexican Gunner saying, I always complain about his poor subs, even if he makes them. Always late, no imagination, no real-time adaptability. You're so right about the no real-time adaptability. So last season, he was making them way too late. I was pleasantly surprised at the beginning of this season that the subs were coming a bit earlier, 60th minute, unlike 75th minute. but it's kind of he's reverting back to type as more and more pressure has come onto him this season. The subs have been getting later. We've been getting less rotation from the first 11. It's very much he goes into like, I'm not going to make any subs, like revert to type. Yeah, real lack of real-time adaptability. You're so right about that. It was so clear to see. I can't believe Trossard and ESR didn't come on until the 97th minute. The game was, it didn't look like we were anywhere near scoring for 15 minutes before that. The team was just completely flat. So you did, yeah, betrays the Man City fan saying, I thought Arsenal were the better team today. If you had a finisher, you would have battered Liverpool. You're so right. That's the problem. That is really the problem, though. And it's just balancing up whether, like, this poor form from our attackers. We've been the better team in most matches this season in terms of stats, but no one could finish their dinner. And at what point do you say that that's indicative of larger problems at the club, or it's just unlucky, or like, yeah, the attackers just aren't quite getting it right? For me, it's getting into the realms of like something's quite wrong for us to be this poor at finishing our chances for so long. But then there is like another argument that says, you know, like the chance, if I don't know, I don't know, it's just really bad. It's really bad. As you can see, possession, you're right though, you are so right. I do need to keep remembering that we did dominate, but then that makes me more annoyed because like it keeps happening where we're getting so many chances and not finishing our dinner. So frustrating. So we had 1.61 XG compared to their 0.67, so way more. And they win 2-0, that's crazy. 18 total shots compared to their 12, 5 shots on targets compared to their 3. And you know, these stats are only so level because we absolutely like bottled it in the second half. The first half, we were so dominant. 4 big chances to their 1, 4 big chances missed to their none. I remember the score is 2-0 to them. Yeah, I've got a couple more stats as well. Brace yourselves, stats are coming. Nice bit of Game of Thrones there. Yeah, let's see if there's anything interesting in here. 4 clear-cut chances to their 1, and they won 2-0. Crazy. 5 corners to their 2. What happened to our really good corners? Haven't seen many of them. Well, we did at the beginning of the season, but it's all kind of gone to ruin. We won 15 fouls to their 11. We did press really well today. It's just, again, another dominant performance where you're coming out on top, coming out second best. It's just so frustrating. Oh my gosh, so many comments. You guys, thank you so much. Betrazy, Man City fan, says Pep always makes subs too late, or games where we lose, he makes 0 subs. I guess Arteta got that from Pep. Yes, you're right. That's a really good point, actually. That is a really good point. And, you know, as a first-time manager, I guess he'll quite often think, what would Pep do? But Pep's learned his way of doing things from years and years of experience. And so Arteta's doing what Pep would do, but without any of the logic or experience that like grew that sort of decision-making. Yeah, I'm really starting to kind of doubt whether we can continue for very long with Arteta at the reins. But it's not all on Arteta. It's the hierarchy above him. I'm sure he's desperate for these players to come in, but the guys above him need to support that. But I can't say that they haven't supported him so far. It's just bring really weird decisions in transfers like Havertz and potentially not getting anyone but holding on to Nketiah in January. So let's kind of round up. Guys. So, right. Chat catch-up time, and then we'll round up. Long stream today? Mr. B saying, not having your rejects, Bran. Yeah. Noor, hello. New name in the chat, I think. I like your profile picture. Nice Audi there. I'm drawing an Audi, a red one, tomorrow. Fun fact. Anyway, you have a team full of rotational players, says Noor. There is not many players who can take responsibility to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Yeah, especially not Odegaard today. Thing is, like we do though, Declan Rice is really good at that. And last season we were really good at that. But this season, you're right. Like the whole team just seems really flat. Yeah, so I completely agree. I don't rate Arteta that highly, but Plymouth Argyle is a bit wild. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll take that back. I'll take that back. That's quite a niche one, but it's my grandpa's team, so I've got a soft spot for Plymouth Argyle, so I'll take it. A cup of tea. I'd give him a cup of tea. That he would never forget. Is that like does that mean something else? I don't know. But Tracy saying, I don't know, as a City fan, I want Vinny to be our next manager. I wouldn't be up in arms if we did sign Arteta. That's big praise, to be fair. I like a few of you Man City fans are really sound, you know, it's cool to hear your perspective. Yeah, but you'd be cool to sign Arteta, right, after he's like done his preschool at Arsenal. So once he's got all the mistakes out of his system and like got to grips what it is to be a manager, then you'd take him once he was kind of like more fully formed. And we would have just been like, we'd be like him on stabilizers, right? And you'd get him once he's become a normal bicycle. That's not fair. No. Fran, tell Mikel to give your team to us. That's the scary thing, right? Like thinking about how good our team would be under a manager who really knew like what to do right now. It's quite clear that Arteta does not really know what to do right now, because he's a new manager and having to deal with injuries, having to deal with changes in the form of players and stuff. That's something that you learn in years and years over time, and he's just learning it now. He hasn't learnt that in the past. He's trying to work out what to do now, rather than a player who comes in and goes, right, I know what to do. So it's scary to think about, and really like tantalizing to think what could be done if an experienced manager came in right now and had this amazing group of players to work with. It's worth thinking about. It's worth thinking about. AJ asked, here's the bigger question. When Aaron leaves in the summer, who on earth do we buy as a Raya number 2? I do not know. I do not know. I want him. I would, if you're not going to use Aaron, like let him go now. Keep Karl Hein as number 2. Hope to God that Raya stays fit, because we can get a good chunk of money for Ramsdale. And I think I'd rather bring in a player that we really need than have Ramsdale sitting on the bench, you know. That's my take anyway. Posh Bertie saying hello. Still live, I see. Get Arteta out of my club. My local team, Ebbsfleet, wouldn't take him. Oh, I bet Ebbsfleet would take him. They need help, from what I hear. Mexican Gunner saying, yes, we're ruining a team with amazing potential by having them play under this rookie clown. I completely agree. I completely agree. You know, I started this stream like quite kind of defending Arteta, but the more I speak to you guys, the more I'm like, God, what is the point? I think I've always worried, like in my weird egotistical way, that Arteta's going to watch this stream and then be upset. Mikel, if you're watching this, it's really not personal. I just want the best for my club. Anyway, right. Oh, 38 likes, you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your comments, but I am going to kind of wrap it up soon. I need to go and have my dinner. But thank you so much for joining me tonight, you guys. I forgot Holding was still in the league, says the Mexican Gunner. Trust the process, says P. Welcome to the chat. Are you still trusting the process? I'm really having my doubts about the process now, P. But let me know. Thank you very much for joining me in the chat. Please, guys, before I go, please remember to hit like, subscribe. Why did I say it like that? I'll be live again tomorrow. Not sure what I'm going to talk about yet. Probably more just Fallout. Maybe we'll talk about what I want to see in January, but let's just finish up with the fact that every Arsenal fan right now, it's make or break for this January window. If we want to save our season, SOS, save our season, save our Saka, we need defensive signing, midfield, backup for Saka and Martinelli, a better backup at least on the wing, and hopefully a striker as well. And the fact we need so much after having spent so much money is kind of damning in itself. But we all need to be putting pressure on Edu, Arteta, the board to actually turn this thing around in January. I'm fed up with the excuses, being told, you know, trust the process, stay behind the team, guys. It's diverting from the real issue, which is poor transfer policy and changing the tactics for no reason this season, really, when we were doing so well last season. But I think it still can be salvaged. Mathematically, we're 2 points behind the leaders. If they actually pull their fingers out and get it done in January, then we can still save this season, and it's a valuable learning experience. This was a blip. It's your choice right now, Arsenal, whether you want this to be the end of our season or a blip. So Arsenal, come on, make this a blip, please. Give us loyal supporters something back, and save our season. SOS. Maybe we'll do an SOS stream tomorrow. Yeah, let's do that tomorrow. Let's do an SOS stream. And we're going to talk about how we can save our season, okay? Save our... I'm writing it down right here. Tomorrow, it's an SOS stream. Save our season, okay? Turn on the notifications so you know when I go live. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for all the support. I'm loving this. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Try not to let Arsenal get in your head, by the way. Go and have a nice bath. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea, a nice bath, and then think about it some more tomorrow. That's a lie. I'm going to be worrying about it all night, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for all the support. Yeah, much love to all you guys that are new as well. And thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Bye now. Bye.